Prepare to be teamworked.
Ha! It's all mine!
Not so fast, Booger Beard!
Me formula.
This will make you feel a little butter.
Not melted butter!
Hi, Antonio. It's lovely to meet you. I really enjoyed the film, first of all. I am a mummy blogger here in the UK, and so when I came to interview, I asked all my mummy bloggers to ask their kids for some questions for you. So if that's okay, these are questions from kids. I'm going to start with my daughter, who's 9 and is a huge fan of Spongebob. Okay. She was really excited that I was coming to meet you as well because she's also a big fan of Shrek. And she would like to know, what's your favourite sort of burger?
I like cheeseburgers.
Flea's a big fan of a bacon cheeseburger. Are you just a bit simpler? Just cheese?
Cheese and bacon would be okay. It depends on the moment of the day.
Okay, and did you get to eat burgers when you made the film, when you were Captain Burgerbeard?
Do you know what happened? Because of the beer and the complications of the beer, I couldn't eat too much while I was shooting. I couldn't open my mouth too much because then the mustache that just get detached. And so basically what I did just to take juices, just put a straw. That was my my lunchtime was that. And you know, this pirate, he laughs a lot. He laughs big. Boom, mustache detachment. More glue, more stuff. You know. So during the time that I was shooting the movie, actually the beer, the burgers was
no burgers.
Was not an option.
That's a shame. For me. My next question is from Jane, who'd like to know, you're originally Spanish. How hard is it for you still to do movies in English?
It's more difficult than nothing. But to make movies, even in my own language, it's always complicated.
Yeah.
If it wasn't complicated, it wouldn't be as much fun.
Okay.
Actually, in those complications is where you find to be passionate about what you do. Of course, it was more difficult, 20-something years ago when I started in the United States making movies because, I have to basically translate the whole entire script in Spanish just to understand what the movie was all about when I did the Mambo Kings, movies like that, even Philadelphia. But then with the years, you start getting, closer and closer and closer to the language. Though when you learn a language at the age of 30, even before than that, it's very difficult. I will never lose my accent. It's impossible. It will just come with me until the day I die. But it's, I feel very proud actually that I could actually use my English language as a working tool, and it gave me so much satisfaction. Of course, with the pirating Spongebob, the movies that I've done, but especially with Puss in Boots. Why? Because it's just my voice.
And it makes you quite distinctive, doesn't it?
Yeah. The people recognize immediately, this is Antonio Banderas.
And so in this movie you play Captain Burgerbeard.
Right.
What's the best thing, this is from Lindy, about being a pirate, and what pirate skill did you most enjoy learning?
Pirates they have been always in literature and in movies, very romantic characters. Why? Because they're free. They have the freedom that nobody has.
And they've got swords, right?
And they got swords.
And cool hats.
They can go, and they have the ocean.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. And the ocean doesn't have paths. It's just the wind and freedom, the sun, and that's it.
So do you have good sword skills?
I did, actually, when I did Zorro.
Well, you did Zorro, of course.
I trained for a long time, first with the National Olympic team in Spain for almost 4 months, and then before we did the movie, some choreographies that we have to do during the filming. And then in the second Zorro, I went back to that. But I did another movie in the middle called The 13th Warrior that I also received training. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not a champion, but I know about swords, and I feel comfortable.
Okay, so Jane's question was about the physicality of the role, because there's lots of jumping around and lots of comedy in this kind of film. Is it quite hard to do, and how do you keep in shape to do those kind of roles?
Well, you have to trust the people that you are working with. Some of those jumpings and some of those spinning, stuff like that, but basically you are attached to something. You don't do it without being attached to a cable, and the cable is attached to a kind of crane. So there is, systems. So if you trust the people that are behind you, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's like a ride in an amusement park. Now, you have to be careful, you have to be very conscious what you're doing, and you have to follow the instructions that they give you of what you're doing, step by step. If you miss one of those steps, then accidents may happen. And sometimes they do. And so, but I basically in this movie I never had an accident. So there were great people working with me, and I felt very comfortable actually doing those stunts. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome.